This video, I'm gonna show you how you can transform this selfie into this one. First, you want to take a selfie from the same angle as the original one. After that, just go to Google and find the original one so you can use the same photo. Now you want to cut out your head with a pen tool here. That's the best way to do this. And just make sure you take a little bit of the neck also. Make selection and don't forget to make a smart object here. After that, just drag the file into the original photo and resize this. And you can drop the opacity so you can see it better. And make sure to have the eyes, the ears and the chin at the same place as the original one. After that, make a mask and get rid of some parts so you can see it better. Now you want to do some curves here because it's way too light now, and you want to drop this, the midtones. Drop the midtones here, and after that go to the eye and get rid of the pupil of your own photo. So you want to make sure this red spot is in the exact same place as the original one, and after that just drop the saturation of your own photo and do some curves again to make it a little bit darker. That looks a lot better now. And again, do some brushing and make sure everything is in the same place as the original one. So try to put your photo like at the same place as the original photo, and also edit some colors here because it was a little bit too red. Now we can do some more brushing here. Basically, I'm just brushing every time to see which areas I want to use and which not. So after that, just copy the background layer and use the clone stamp tool to get rid of the original hair. So just hold down Alt and press and make sure all these black areas are black. Now you want to bring back your original ear because I don't want to use his ear. I want to use my own ear for this one. And after that, I'm doing some brushing again to make sure to get the details from the original photo. And let's make some curves again because I feel like it can be a little bit darker here. So basically, I'm just using every time a new curves layer and edit those to make it darker and darker. I don't want to do this on one curves layer. After that, go to camera raw filter so you can get all the details from your photo. Then go to sharpening. You see this above here, and increase the amount of the sharpening. And after that, press OK, and you can see it looks a lot better now. So you can see more details. Now you want to create a new curves layer here, and this time we're gonna bring up the highlights. So bring up the highlights and press on the mask of it and press Ctrl backspace to delete it again. And now you want to brush the right part lighter again because we have this lighting from the right side on the original one, and I want to make sure it's at the same place as the original one. And after that, do some brushing again, and basically I'm just brushing all the time. Now you want to create some exposure here to get it really light, and bring up the exposure and press OK. And now you want to delete this again, delete the mask and bring back the right part. So now you have this nice lighting on the right side of it. And just basically I'm brushing again to make sure everything is like the original one. So make sure the exposure is really high here so you can see like this light coming from right on your face. Try to change the background of your composition here so you can see it better. After that, I'm gonna create a new layer and fill it with 50% gray and change the blending mode to overlay. And I'm gonna do some burn here because my ear is a little bit too light now. So I'm gonna burn this all darker and make sure it's darker than the right side of my head. After that, I'm gonna create some rim lights here. So I'm making this selection of my nose and making sure it's like a perfect selection of my nose here. And press right mouse, make selection, and make sure to use 0 pixels so you have this hard edge. After that, just brush these parts white and make sure it's all the way up. And if you brush too much, you can just delete a couple parts, and you can drop the opacity if it's too wide, so it looks a lot better when you drop the opacity a little bit there. Now you want to create a new layer, create a clip mask, and do this again with the right side of your head. So we can also create some rim lights on the right side of the head, and play around with the opacity to make sure it's not too bright but also not too dark. Forgot a little piece there. Now I want to also create some rim lights on the ear because the ear is a little bit too dark now, and I want to still have some lighting there. So do the same with the ear here. And basically I'm just playing around with the settings again. Now I want to select the eye and select some red from it, and I want to make this red eye, make some glow from this red eye. So I'm just changing the blending mode to soft light and just dropping opacity. Now I open up this in Lightroom so I can use one of my presets. You can get these if you check the link down below. This is what I usually like to do. This gets the photo really cool now. As you can see, it's a lot different now and looks a lot better. So I don't have to do this in Photoshop. I just doing this all in Lightroom and export this. I also like this preset, so I'm gonna use both presets here and export this one also and open up the both in Photoshop. So these are the presets from Lightroom, and now I got them open up in Photoshop, and the only thing I have to do is here is play around with the opacity of both of these layers, make sure they are right, and do some curves here, and as final some color balance.